We've completed the liberation of Grust, but ironically Grust is not liberated just yet. It's time to take on the final bastion of Lang's forces, the aptly named Nest of Evil. Anyway, and we get a pretty ominous scene here. I think that's supposed to be Lang. You can't really tell, it's a little distant, but yeah, that's pretty much supposed to be Lang. And interestingly enough, this is actually our first indoor chapter in the game, which, in fact, funnily enough, Chapter 6 in the original Shadow Dragon is also that game's first indoor chapter. You find a lot of quotations in these opening scrolls here, a bit more than they were in Shadow Dragon. And that line right there, I love what the translation team did with that. So much better than the line in the original Mystery fan translation, which just sounded completely ridiculous. If you want to see it, look up the original Mystery translation. Serenes Forest has the full script up for viewing. Though, yeah, just be warned what you're getting into. Some of it is pretty weird. Yeah. And, of course, here's another one of these stat conversations, and, of course, Jagan gives the highest praise to Merisu's strength. I can't believe I've got the best possible outcome on all of these so far, although I warn you that later on, when it comes to probably magic and resistance, I probably won't be getting the best option. But, still, Right, now you'll see there that Bast got the Gemini shard from the boss in the previous chapter. And that one boosts both strength and magic, except there are very few situations where you need both of those boosted. And if you've got someone wielding a weapon sword, but other than that, I believe that's the only magical weapon in this game, actually. Yeah. Right, now from now on I've decided to view the map before looking at the conversations, just because, you know, it actually makes more sense. There's a whole bunch of armors over there, and a couple of mages. You can't really see that. Another physics staff bishop. Fortunately, this one is killable, and he drops a nice item too. This guy, yep, the very first appearance of the Swarm Tome, which I know I'm going to learn to hate with an absolute passion. Swarm is a long-range tome, and, it's just as annoying as you'd probably think. Oh, and it's even worse in this game, because unlike in Shadow Dragon, you can't actually get, a Swarm Tome at all. Although, I mean, given that, you know, the only Swarm Tome you could get in Shadow Dragon was missable and only turned up in the final chapter anyway, still, it means you can't use forged Swarm Tomes on Wi-Fi. Anyway, I should probably talk about this. Yeah, we'll get to Swarm later, trust me. This conversation is about Narval. Now, I apologize, I am going to be referring to him using his European name, only because, his American name I find impossible to pronounce. Anyway, Narval is, yeah, a Myrmidon from the previous game who was amazing, and he started, really, his own archetype of, sword fighters who start off on the enemy side usually carry killing edges, but can be persuaded onto your side and generally specialize in skill and speed and usually become some of your best characters. Yep, he's back in this game, of course, and Sheeta says that she'll be able to persuade him this time, so let's bring her. However, there is someone else who can recruit him too. Anyway, now it's on to Aaron's second support conversation, and this is where you get some more light shed on his situation. Here's where things start getting interesting. And again, the only reason I'm keeping him in the party, Sirius basically does everything he can and so much more, but I'm keeping Aaron in the party simply on virtue of, you want to see these supports, seriously. They're really, really good. So anyway, there's some pretty heavy stuff being dealt with in this one. Yeah, back to that thing. You'll find out exactly how he went astray in the third conversation, and that's why it's important to see all of them. Sorry, there isn't really much I can comment on here, but, yes, in case you haven't realized, yeah, I'm just gonna make it a lot less subtle for you, Aaron is terminally ill. Yep, all those who've made fun of his low growth rate, you're probably feeling really horrible right now. Yes, that's the actual in-story justification why his stats and growth are so bad. Aaron is terminally ill. He knows that he's gonna die soon, and he just wants to finish this war. He wants it to be the last thing he can do. He's sacrificing himself for his honor, which is actually, yeah, he's pretty amazing as a character, and I certainly warmed up to him a lot after that one. Anyway, this is a support with Julian, which I just got here. It's actually pretty basic. Now this one, Sheeta and Ogma, I've never actually seen this one before, because I didn't use her in my regular playthrough, but yes, Sheeta is one of the characters who get supports with people other than my unit are few and far between. Sheeta gets a lot of them. Sheeta not only, apart from Marth, she also gets, Ogma, and, funnily enough, Militia. Yes, Sheeta and Militia do support, and I'm really interested to see those. So, yep, you'll be looking forward to those later. Anyway, so basically this is all about Ogma being her bodyguard and stuff, and her being concerned about him taking injuries for her. Interestingly enough, it's the perfect chapter to be getting this support, because in this very chapter, we'll find out more about Ogma's backstory, and just why he's so devoted to Sheeta. Apparently vulneraries are something that, just anyone can just go and make. Interesting. Right then, let's check out how's everyone. Okay, let's just say all of Luke's dialogue is hilarious. Uvella got something. No, that's not bad. Oh, great. Does he really have to get experience points? More stat boosts. Well, didn't get any items out of that, and most of the stat boosts went to characters I'm not using, so that wasn't a very eventful turnaround. Right, I think I will bring Mary Sue back to, a sword-using class for this one. Yeah, she's got a Master Seal in her inventory, and funnily enough, she can use it right now. Her skill and speed cannot get any higher as a Myrmidon. So really I should be training her up in other classes, but I wanted her to be a sword-using class for this one. Her strength is also freakishly high by Myrmidon standards. I'll have to store those, and I like having her with the Taurus Orb. It kind of complements her weaknesses. Well, not exactly weaknesses, that strength is pretty ridiculous. But anyway, and I want to save that Lady Sword. And of course I'm not even going near the Devil Sword. I never use Devil Weapons. It just completely goes against my style. I don't think Ogma needs that Pure Water. I, in fact, rarely find myself using Pure Water. I mean, it increases your magic resistance, but generally I find it's best to just, if a character has low resistance, just to keep them away from mages in the first place. And that Fire Tome, yeah, she'll have to store that. But she's got enough weapons, normally. Her and Katri are both 1 point off maxing speed, but of course Sheeta has a lot more luck, so she's better at dodging. I guess I'll keep with the VIP card for the moment. The next secret shop isn't for a while, and I mean a long while. So, yeah, we won't be using that again for quite a bit. Linda looks fine. Ryan is fine. I've got enough healing staffs on Militia. Mark seems fine. Right, now I'm gonna have to, I will want to take Julian, but I want to bring Bast in this chapter. So I'm going to have to kick out someone if I want Bast. Mostly because I know from experience, I made the wrong call about reinforcements in the last chapter, but I know there are definitely reinforcements in this one. So, yeah, I want to bring, Bast just so I can leech off the reinforcements. Sadly, I guess the one most expendable in the party at the moment is Aaron. Even though I really desperately do want to get their supports, mostly because I can finally ditch him once I've got their supports, which is actually really sad, but anyway, right, now I'm setting this up, so I've already planned out which of my characters will go to the left and who will go to the right. I'm gonna send more people over to the left and the right, obviously, because there's less enemies on the right hand. I'm gonna have a third team go down to deal with the reinforcements that will be emerging from the lower entrance to the castle. Make sure they don't hit us from behind, because that would be very bad. Right, looks like we're all mostly set. Apart from... Did I do... I forgot whether I did any drill grounds in this chapter. Yes, I did. Okay, some drill grounds time. Yeah, you can expect to see a little bit of this, before every chapter. Mostly here, Bast is gonna need some because, yeah, I had the feeling that he'd be able to abuse reinforcements in the last chapter. He didn't get that chance, so I'm gonna make up for it like this. Bast has a bit of a tough time in the arena, mostly because of his, lowish defense, and the fact that, for some reason, you end up facing sword users more often than not. Or at least, enemies like this, who, for some reason, even though I've got weapon triangle advantage, my axes aren't doing very much damage to him. But yeah, again, there's no penalty for resetting, in this, so basically, if you get a level up you're happy with, just go back and save, and then just keep going on in the arena. If someone dies, then just reload your save. It's that simple. Once you get another level up you're happy with, save. It's... yeah, pretty easy, and that's presumably the reason why Jagan does not mention the fact that people can die in this arena, back when he explained it before. That's probably because death is pretty much a non-issue when you can save and reset as much as you want. See, look at this, we get, sword users a lot. Of course, this guy is doing oddly low damage against me, really low damage. I mean, how bad must this guy's strength stat be? And even though I'm missing most of the time, I'm taking more than half his HP off, and he takes, like, I don't know, an awful lot of hits to kill me, so, yeah, I felt confident I'd win that one, and I did. Maybe one more just for a level up, and, ooh dear, no, that's bad. Bad, yep, if I'm getting doubled, that's not good. Yeah, and I didn't really... yeah, okay, this is better, this is much better. Yep, I'm taking off more than half his health in one shot, I'm doubling, and he's 3-hit KOing me, that's perfect. Yeah, you kinda gotta rig the result in your favour a bit here. And he's getting an awful lot of speed and not much strength, which is strange, but then again, speed is pretty good, and with axes having such high power, he doesn't really need strength anyway. Funny though, given that he's a 70% growth. Which is, yeah, actually better than Born Chords, as I said before. Right, now, I'm not sure he needs that, right. Quick Axe could be useful, although it does have weirdly low uses. So, yeah, once we get Brave Axes, that thing will be pretty useless, but for the time being, I mean, if you attack 4 times with that, you've barely got enough uses in that for even 2 rounds of combat if you, presuming you attack 4 times with them every time. That's... wow. Well, then again, these, for the most part, these House Everyone weapons are pretty cheap to forge. Except for the ones like Camus Pike, which is ridiculous. Just for a while back, I experimented. I wanted to see how much money it would cost to fully forge after everything to maximum. It cost well over 100,000 gold, so I don't think I'm going to be doing that. But anyway, oh dear, it looks like we're going to have to deal with Narval, and he's on the wrong side once again. But fortunately, we have Sheeta, who says she can persuade him. However, there is another person who can persuade him. Yes, you can recruit him with Ogma in this game. So either Sheeta or Ogma can recruit him, and I'm actually going to be showing off both conversations. I'll be doing Ogma's in the main run, mostly because you actually get quite a lot of backstory info if you do that, and yes, you actually get some backstory on Ogma, which is pretty cool. But Sheeta's is just plain amusing, which sounds strange, given that it's a no-nonsense mercenary, but, well, you'll find out when it happens. So I'm going to show both of them. Okay, right, Elfire. We're starting to see an awful lot of Elfire lately. Elfire is pretty dangerous, so now I'm having Marth go over here, and Julian go over here. It's a very good thing that Marth's Fire Emblem allows him to open chests, because we need to open all the chests in this chapter. I cannot stress this enough. We need to open the chests. Really need it. Because there's an item in one of these chests that we do not want to miss. And seriously, yes, you don't want to miss this. You really don't want to miss this. I cannot stress this enough. Let me say it again. You do not want to miss this item. It's more than just a really useful item. It's something that you will need if you want to get the real ending of the game. Yes, there... Right, now Bast is going down in anticipation of the reinforcements, and oh crap, here comes Swarm. Oh, nice one. You know, funnily enough, I was just watching a fellow YouTuber's playthroughs of Sega and Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. Now, you might be wondering, what the hell does that have to do with Fire Emblem? Well, funnily enough, there's an item in it called Swarm, and if you manage to successfully avoid it, the announcer says, "Invaded Swarm!" Which I actually think would be really appropriate in this game. So if anyone out there knows where I can get that voice clip of the announcer saying that, I would very much like to play it every time a character dodges a Swarm Tome. But I digress. Right, Sirius is actually getting banged up pretty bad there, so gotta watch out for that. Physics Staff Bishops! Yes, I hate them. Fortunately, this one I will be able to kill, which is nice. But we've got ominous music here, and movement near the front of the castle. That can't be good. So yes, ominous foreshadowing. Reinforcements are going to be appearing. Certainly, yes, you do need the ominous foreshadowing, because of course, you gotta watch out for reinforcements. They can be dangerous. Oh, damn it, Ryan is just one... Ryan is not quite fast enough to go over there. Right, now let's get this chest with Marth. The barrier staff. That's not the one I was looking for. No, I mean, barrier staff's alright. I mean, I mostly use it to abuse experience on clerics, but yeah, it's nice. Speaking of abusing experience on clerics, right, Katria will now be assigned to the lower strike force that is going to deal with the reinforcements. Right, Julian will open that, and I actually believe that I've read that if you didn't recruit Ricard in the last chapter, he will be locked in a jail cell in this one. So don't worry if you missed him back there. Though you will miss that secret shop, but that's just one Master Seal. Anyway, I've actually never got to the point where you had to recruit Ricard in this chapter, so I can't really say anything about it. Now, Blizzard, yeah, first time we're seeing the Blizzard Tome, it's got a tiny critical rate, so you'll want to watch out for that. Fortunately, Sheeta's luck is so amazing, she can pretty much avoid being critical. And avoid being hit altogether, actually, so... 2 stats, only 2 stats? Oh well, speed is nice. And yeah, is she the first non-Mary Sue character to max something in this game? Probably. Well, max something unpromoted anyway. And right, this is where having a regular Thunder Tome or Fire Tome here helps. Getting Linda some experience on these guys, even though I actually won't be using her. I apologise for that. I actually did abuse the hell out of her in my first playthrough, but in this one I'm going to have to... Well, there's another mage I'm going to be kind of forced to use. Now, I do not want to drop this door key, because I don't particularly want to have Julian run all the way back to this side of the map. Besides, he's needed over there anyway, so, yeah. Also, actually, I could kill both these guys now, if I abuse my nice forge weapon. Slash! Oh, no critical. Mary Sue laughs in the face of your rubber javelin. No criticals, oh, come on. Anyway. Right, now time for Sirius to deal with this guy. He's gonna need healing after this. And after this, Sirius will now be reassigned to reinforcement blocking duty, which he does really well considering he's got the best defense out of our whole team. Well, actually, is he tied with Ryan at the moment? I'm not sure. Anyway, right, uh-oh.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Oh, my eyes! Eyes! Ah! Ah!
That was not an evaded swarm, and as you can see, it's pretty painful. But, for the time being, now for something completely different. Frey and Norn are here. Yes, it turns out that what Jagan heard, in fact, was allies to our cause. It seems the two of them were able to escape from Altea being attacked, but the others were all scattered. Hopefully the others can take care of themselves. Anyway, though, they're going to join us, and yes, these were the 2 prologue exclusive characters in the original Shadow Dragon. So fittingly they're joining together in this one. And though it seems like both were right, we've got allies and we've got reinforcements attacking us. But first, remember how I said before that you were spoilt for choice when it came to Cavaliers in the original mystery, and in this version you get even more? Yep, Frey is one of them. You wouldn't think they'd be able to add even more potential paladins to the game than already were in the original mystery, but they did. That certainly does mean Frey has an awful lot of competition for his role, but does he stand out? Well, judging by his growth, he actually does kind of do a pretty good job of it. Frey has less strength than Luke and Rhodey, in fact it's equal to Cecil, and his skill and speed are not as high as Cecil's are. But, they're still pretty good. And he's got great luck and great defense too. Not only that, but his base stats are pretty decent too. And he starts with some very, very nice weapons, especially that killer lance. Yeah, can't fault the guy for coming with a killer lance. That is some nice equipment. And, due to coming with the killer lance, he's got some pretty good starting weapon ranks too. So he's already a C with lances and a D with swords, so he's pretty good right off the bat, and he'll just keep on getting good. He'll likely end up with max strength, skill, speed, very high luck, and pretty good defense too. So, yeah, Frey is actually pretty good, and again, seeing as the last Cavalier we got was Mathis, yep, this is a huge improvement. So, like, you know, if somehow Luke, Rhodey, and Cecil weren't enough for you, well, try giving this guy a thought. As for exactly why he's here, and how he survived the events of Shadow Dragon, well, you'll need to use him and get his supports to find out. Now it's on to his companion. And hi, Norn, good to see you. Good thing they didn't forget about you. Yeah, Norn is an interesting character. In Shadow Dragon, it was quite easy to miss her. She joined at the end of the prologue, but only if you managed to have 4 or less characters alive by the end, which means that in addition to the sacrifice, you'd have to kill off 1 more character. Which was kind of a shame. Yeah, she was the first in a long line of side quest characters that you needed to kill people to get, but fortunately for her, Norn was one of the few good ones. Back in Shadow Dragon, I actually thought that in general she was pretty much better than Gordon. But how does she fare here? By this point, we already have Ryan, Gordon, Warren, and Castor. Would we seriously need another archer? How could Norn differentiate herself from the rest of the pack? Well, actually she does have a few things going for her, mainly her speed. As you can see there, she's only level 5, but her speed currently is 1 point less than my Ryan's is at the moment. So, unlike Ryan and sort of Gordon, she doesn't have the problem of horrible base speed. Hers is actually pretty high, and with such a high growth, she'll be getting speed a lot. She'll be doubling more often than not most of the time. Her base skill is it's a tiny bit lacking, but her skill growth is decent. She's got pretty good luck too, and that's something that Ryan doesn't really have. Her defense though is not as good as Ryan's, mostly because of the fact that her base is lower. She actually got the same base as Ryan, but given that she joins 4 levels higher than him, and the fact that he has a 5% growth lead on her means that he'll probably have better defense by the time he's level 5, and his average is better to show for it. But still, she's not completely fragile. The main weakness Norn has is her strength. Her strength is considerably lower than the other archers. It's the lowest of all 5 we've seen so far, and her average, yeah, it's quite a bit lower than the others. This will mean that while she doubles consistently, she won't be doing quite as much damage. Then again, if you're doubling, you might be doing more damage anyway. Of course, by this point, again, at this point I've got Ryan to about level... He's past level 10 at this point, and she's only level 5, so if you want to use her, she might have a little tough time to begin with, given that she starts quite under-leveled But if you want an archer who can consistently double, I can't fault you for using Norn. Don't pass her up just because she joins later than the others. She's actually not at all bad, and I reckon she can be pretty decent if you want to use her. Not to mention that, yeah, she starts with a C in bows, so she can already use some pretty nice bows right off the bat. If you're not using Castor, you can have her grab his killer bow. So, yeah, Norn, actually a pretty decent archer. Very slightly hampered by less join time and lower strength. And Norn recruited, I'd say it's a good time to hit the save point and end this part here. Next time, we'll be dealing with the reinforcements and entering the keep itself. See you then!